hopeful that may have dodged a bullet, and that this may not be as long a term thing as it could have been. So, but we will know more later this afternoon.
Vince?
Hey Rick, there seems to be some maybe Steve Nash comparisons with Tyrese as far as career trajectory and style of play, and how going to a new place sort of unlocked something. Do you see that, and do you have any thoughts on maybe just a new player finding success in a new place with a new style?
Well, guys like Tyrese are going to be successful. He'd have been successful if he'd have stayed in Sacramento. I believe that. The comparisons to Nash, I do think are accurate. Largely because of the skill set, the vision, the scoring ability, but even more than that is Ty's connectivity with people. One of the things that was always so amazing to watch with Steve was whenever he'd approach a teammate on the court to talk to him, he'd always put his hand up and give him five. He would touch his teammates. And Tyrese is very similar in the way he connects, eye contact, touching, all those things. And there's a real an understanding of his teammates because he's put the work in to those relationships. So yeah, those are to me accurate comparisons. I think the two players are a bit different, but a lot of the qualities are the same.
On your left, third row.
Rick, Jake Fisher with the Iowa Sports. Along those lines, it seems like Ty has a special connection with Buddy Hield. He called him his brother yesterday and was talking about how he particularly wants to also help win, help him get to the playoffs. What have you seen about their dynamic? What's special from carrying over from Sacramento to here with you guys?
Yeah, well, they obviously have a lot of familiarity with one another. With that kind of brother thing, brothers fight too. Brothers argue, bicker, and they go back and forth on some stuff. But at the end of the day, there's a great love and appreciation, and it's not an accident that I think last year they were the #1 connection team, assist to score ratio or whatever it was, and I know they're very high this year as well. So, they feel like, I believe, I can't read minds, but I believe they feel they're on this mission together, to try to make this climb to a level where we're in the conversation for playoffs and winning in the playoffs and eventually moving up from there.
Joe, here in the front.
With Nembhard, last night in the immediate aftermath of the game, you said that it may have been a hyperextension.
Yeah, I really, I wouldn't write that. I mean, there are HIPAA laws.
Right. No,
you could get sued.
This is not a. Gotcha. But I'm just curious. It sounds like.
And I would be a witness. Yeah. No. Look, the hope is that that's all it is a mild hyperextension. But what's your question?
Yeah, it sounds like after you left the podium that there was a moment where you may have feared that it was something really serious.
Yeah, I mean, you always hope it isn't, but it's the NBA and guys are going 100 miles an hour, and there's a stanchion and there's cameramen and there's a crowd there, and so there are things that are obstacles to good health, but on the other hand, NBA athletes are among the best in the world, and these guys not only accelerate but they decelerate pretty well too. So we're just hoping for the best.
Jordan.
Hey Coach, you talked about Andrew being out, but the impact that TJ had yesterday. How important is he going to be for you guys? Going to this next game, picking up 94 feet. And just being active on both sides of the ball too as well.
He's a big part of our culture, our personality, and how we have to play. I mean, there's a reckless competitiveness about him. that is something that we need to have for this game tomorrow. And so he's obviously an important part of that, an even bigger part of that now that Andrew will not be available tomorrow. But he's been doing this for 9 years, coming in and creating chaos, and in a chaotic situation, he thrives. And we want we want speed, we want pace in the game, and we need the things that he brings.
Yeah, I just feel like TJ is a player that a lot of teams want and need. A lot of young guys, I feel like, need to kind of watch TJ. How do you feel like young guys could learn from a guy like with TJ in terms of playing a role and playing it at a great level? Because you see his situation always gets extended. Teams want him on the team. Like, just people need to learn. I feel like players need to kind of more so learn from him too as well.
There's no weapon more powerful than persistence, and he's a great example of it. Undrafted, just forged and carved out, a path into the league, and he's refused to go away, and I don't see him going away anytime soon.
Sam in the back left.
Hi, Rick. You've always cared deeply about the league, very involved with the Coaches Association. And I'm wondering your perspective on the healthiness of the talent right now. The Tyrese story, to me, the neat part is that it's introducing him to the mainstream public. The matchup with LeBron, you got old and new, which is pretty cool. You got Giannis on the court yesterday, Zion. Just generally speaking, with an event like this that showcases the talent, when you kind of read this room in 2023, having seen what you've seen, just where do you see the talent level?
Well, the NBA is set up for a long time. LeBron James is in his prime still. I mean, I'm watching the guy last night, and it's just, it's phenomenal. And this is a guy, someone just gave me this stat, I think Mark Will just told me this. He's the only player in NBA history who's been the youngest player in league history, or the youngest player in the league and the oldest player in the league, both. And that speaks to, obviously an amazing run of longevity and, in his case, greatness. I mean, he's the all-time leading scorer. And if there's a Mount Rushmore, he's one of the guys on the NBA Mount Rushmore, and that's what we're up against tomorrow. We're up against him and Anthony Davis and a lot of other very good players that are on a real uptick right now competitively. So we got our hands full, but if you're the Indiana Pacers and you're in the process of making the climb and you want great experience, I mean, this is the kind of challenge that you gotta love.
Coach, thank you.
Thanks.